Hey everyone, today I want to talk about just stop oil. Now basically, it's absolutely amazing that we're going through these protests. It really is amazing that we're going through these protests. Now, I am on the fence of, let's see what would happen if we just stopped oil production and oil use. Okay, so the first thing it would cause is massive economic disruptions. The global economy would heavily rely on oil for transportation, manufacturing, energy production. With no alternative in place, industries would face disruptions leading to severe economic downturn. Unemployment would skyrocket as businesses struggle to function without access to oil-based resources. The next bit would be transportation crisis. Most vehicles, including cars, trucks, ships, airplanes, rely on mainly oil-based fuels. They will all grind to a halt, causing massive disruptions in the movement of goods and people. This would lead to food shortages, healthcare challenges, and limited access to essential services. Now, and this is not an attack on anybody at all, this is just basically the facts on the Just Stop Oil movement. To the vegans out there, and I'm not isolating the vegans or anything else like that, because here in London there's probably about 25 million of them, right? But in Britain we consume a hell of a load of avocados. I'm pretty sure the avocado supply in Britain, most of Europe, would be ground to a halt because we can't produce avocados or almonds, which is your main proteins and fat sources. Okay, let's move on, because this is quite interesting, because I do think that this month-long bombardment is not fair, right? And I'm not saying, I should say that we should reduce oil and we should look for alternative. I'm a massive advocate of solar panel and solar panel installation. However, you can't stop it. The world would descend into chaos. Next bit is energy shortage. Oil is a significant source of energy production and generation worldwide. Without it, there'd be an immediate shortage of energy, leading to blackouts and disruptions in electrical supply. Alternative energy sources like renewables may not be able to fill the gap immediately, exaggerating the energy crisis. Now, wind turbines use a hell of a lot of oil, and it's not synthetic. The gearboxes have very, very specific oil types which only come from the ground. Modern agricultural heavily depends on oil for machinery, fertilizers, pesticides. The lack of oil would decrease the agricultural productivity, leading to food scarcity and higher food prices. Now, this is just adding to chaos. So it's chaos on top of chaos on top of chaos on top of chaos. The financial crisis. The oil industry is a major player in the global financial systems. Its sudden collapse would create a financial crisis, as many investments and assets that tied to oil would lose value rapidly. So this could be, you would never get a government or governments or loads of governments coming in and saying, yeah, we'll get it done. Yeah, we'll stop it all now. They'll never, ever do it. Pension funds, our entire financial industry would and is tied to oil. Absolutely is. Now, I'm all up for finding a middle ground solution. However, what would that solution be? We can't put solar panels on top of every single building and expect everything to work and expect our energy production to go up. Nuclear power requires a hell of a lot of oil to, maintain its machinery. We can't have anything without oil production. This is just the way of the world right now. Right. With the financial crisis, it's going to create social unrest. Inflation would go through the roof. That £2 loaf of bread that you'd get now would be probably somewhere in the region of about 15 to 20, £30. you wouldn't be able to earn enough money, and then the entire world would descend into chaos. So the combination of economic hardship, transportation issue, energy sources, and food scarcity would lead to widespread social unrest and potential conflicts as people struggle to meet their basic needs. It's crazy. The next bit is healthcare impact. Many medical supplies, pharmaceuticals, and equipment are delivered from oil-based products, which is true. A sudden cessation of oil production would put immense strain on the healthcare system and compromise patient care. Again, right? I've seen videos today where protesters' feet have been run over because of, they've got in the way of traffic, and motorists have just taken it into their own hands and run over the feet of people. Yeah. What's going to come and help you next? An ambulance. The next bit will be geopolitical tension. Oil is a significant driver of geopolitical relationships and power dynamics between countries. The sudden absence of oil would lead to geopolitical tensions and conflicts over resource access. Now, forgetting about how many people are employed by the oil industry and how many families rely on the oil industry and our entire lives are running oil. Now, I'm all up for finding a solution. I am absolutely all up for finding a solution. But slowing down the entirety of London in one hit, not a good thing. Because London is the financial capital of the world. And I agree that we do need to find a solution, but I think we're about 20 to 30 years away from even finding that said solution. We're nowhere near it. We're absolutely nowhere near it. So, to mitigate these dire consequences, societies would have to rapidly transition to alternative energy sources, such as renewables, solar, wind, hydro, nuclear power, and other cleaner technologies. However, such a transition would take time, significant investment, and international cooperation to avoid the worst effects of an immediate stoppage in oil production and use. Now, my question to the Just Stop Oil movement is, what do you think would happen if we stopped it all immediately? And Rishi Sunak could come out of number 10, right, and say, right, the UK has stopped all oil production. What do you think is going to happen? What are you going to do? Go to a pub and go and get a pint and say, oh yeah, that was worth it? And then probably 2 or 3 days later, when all of the shelves have been cleared from all the supermarkets, a load of jobs have been lost and all of the financial markets start diving and you're paying 20 to 30 pounds for a loaf of bread. What do you think will happen? I just think that it's just, I'm aware of all of the climate, but even if we stopped immediately, I don't know what impact that would actually have on our planet. So this is not an argument that you guys are doing wrong. It's just a case of like, if we did stop oil production immediately right now, oh my God. The results would end up in probably millions or maybe even billions of deaths. Maybe billions. I just don't get what you're trying to achieve. Yes, okay, cleaner earth, less pollution, blah, blah, blah. I get it. I am all up for having all of that. I'm a very big advocate of having alternative energy supplies and things like that. But I don't understand why you're bringing cities to a halt over something that is a geopolitical issue, which is going to take absolutely centuries to kind of really work out. It's not an easy thing, and I really don't see how you're slowing down an entire country to get that point across. Absolutely, I agree. We need to move from fossil fuels 100%. But what I don't get is the fact that if you're saying to us, stop it all immediately now, within 3 days, it would be absolutely bloody turmoil. Huge companies would fall and collapse. People would die immediately from it. Our entire energy resource is hugely linked to oil, even if it was renewable or not, right? Say, for example, I would like to know what the economic and I want to know what the economical and viable bit is to every house in the UK to have solar panels. How much oil would be used to produce those solar panels? How much plastics? And then to deliver solar panels to every single house in this country with as many millions of houses as we have, what would that cost? You know, not in funds, but how much would that cost as in oil production? And then to deliver it, what we can do? Walk to a manufacturer to go and pick up 15, between 5 and 15 solar panels. I don't think it would work until we find, or we make it an absolute use of what is going to be used for energy production. I don't understand what it is. This is a mindless rant. I've done a little bit of research into the whole thing. What I don't understand is that if you guys are coming to us to saying stop oil production, okay, I'm all up for it. Here's the alternative. Don't give us the problem without having the solution. The solution there is not yet strong enough to do what you're asking us to do. It's just not. It's 100% not. I'm going to get a load of hate in the comments for this, but I think that if you want to protest about something, come up with a viable solution, come up with a whole bunch of reasons why that solution would work, come up with a costing plan, come up with a business plan, make some money out of it. But I don't understand what you guys are actually trying to achieve apart from really annoyingly pissing off absolutely everybody in the UK over something that we can't do.